this is where we went. This is where I need to start. Scene 2, a hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and certain players. So Hamlet has already talked about getting things ready. They all think that his love for Ophelia is what driving him mad, and he's excited for the play. So let us go. So Hamlet's just my normal voice, right? I do Claudius as kind of a deeper, sinister version of my voice. I am King Claudius, like that. But my voice is just regular Hamlet. So here's Hamlet. Enter Hamlet and certain players. Here we go. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of you players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand, thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent tempest, and, as I may say, whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig, pated fellow tear a passion to tatters. Lurk away, good Luna, lurk away. Thank you so much. I mean it, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I always mean it. But sometimes I worry that I come off as just throwing out things. But I don't. I really mean it. So, a silliness of GEEP. Anyway. Back to Hamburgo. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig, pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for overdoing termagant. It out Herod's Herod. Pray you, avoid it. Here's the first player. I warrant, your honor. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance that you overstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is, to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now, this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve. The censure of the which one must in your allowance o'erweigh a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian, pagan nor man, have so strutted and bellowed, that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir. Oh, reform it together, and let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready. The players exit. Enter Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. Oh, good lord. How now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen, too, and that presently.
That was Polonius. God, I give him such a goofy voice. Bid the players make haste. Exit Polonius. Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I had to say them both simultaneously like that. Exit Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. What ho, Horatio! Enter Horatio. Here, sweet lord, at your service. Horatio, thou art even as just a man, as ever my conservation coped withal. Oh, my dear lord. Nay, do not think I flatter. For what advancement may I hope from thee, that no revenue hast but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? Why should the poor be flattered? Why should the poor be flattered? No, let the candied tongue lick absurd pomp, and crook the pregnant hinges of the knee, where thrift may follow fawning. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of our choice, and could of men distinguish her election, hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards hast taken with equal thanks. And blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commingled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger, to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee, of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's stithy. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming. Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing, and scape detecting, I will pay the theft. They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place. The Danish March. Flourish! King Claudius, the Queen Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others. Here's the king.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent in faith. Of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed Capon so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. Hamlet talks to Polonius. My lord, you played once in the university, you say?
That I did, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf here. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord. They stay upon your patience.
Here's the queen. Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me. No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Polonius says this to the king.
Oh, ho! Do you mark that?
Here's Hamlet. Lady, shall I lie in your lap? He's laying down at Ophelia's feet. And here's Ophelia.
No, my lord. No, my lord.
I mean, my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig-maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long. Nay, then, let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of stables. Oh, heavens! Died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. But by Our Lady, he must build churches then, or else shall he suffer not thinking on with the hobby horse, whose epitaph is, for oh, the hobby horse is forgot. Trumpets sound, the dumb show enters. Enter a king. Here's the show. Enter a king and a queen, very lovingly. The queen embracing him, and he her. She kneels, and makes show of protestation unto him. He takes her up, and declines his head upon her neck, lays him down upon a bank of flowers. She, seeing him asleep, leaves him. Anon comes in a fellow, takes off his crown, kisses it, pours poison. Pours poison in the king's ears, and exits. Lurk away, Fig! Things to pilot. Interesting! Pilot away, Fig! Pilot away! Alright. Pours poison in the king's ears, and exits. The queen returns, finds the king dead, and makes passionate action. The poisoner, with some 3 or 4 mutes, comes in again, seeming to lament with her. The dead body is carried away. The poisoner woos the queen with gifts. She seems loth and unwilling, unwilling a while, but in the end accepts his love. They exit. Here's Ophelia.
What means this, my lord?
Mary, this is Miching Malicho. It means mischief.
Belike this show imports the argument of the play.
The prologue has just entered. We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
Will they tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you'll show him. Be not you ashamed to show, he'll not shame to tell you what it means.
You are not. I'll mark the play.
Prologue. For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently. Here's Hamlet. Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love. Enter a king and a queen. Here's the player king. Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orbed ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have seen 1230's been. Since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands. Here's the queen. So many journeys may the sun and... These are the player queen and the player king. So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet, though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must. For women's fear and love holds quantity in neither aught or in extremity. Now what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there. Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My apparent powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind. For husband shalt thou...
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband, let me be accursed! None wed the second, but who killed the first. Hamlet says this aside. Wormwood. Here's the player queen. The player queen. The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time, I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed. The player king. I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth but poor validity, which now, like fruit unripe, sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be.
Most necessary 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves that to ourselves is debt. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending, doth the purpose lose. The violence of either grief or joy their own enactures with themselves destroy. Where joy most revels, grief doth most lament, joy grieves on slender accident. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves should with our fortunes change. For 'tis a question left us yet to prove, whether love led fortune, or else fortune love. The great man down, and you mark his favored, flies. The poor advanced makes friends of enemies. And hitherto doth love on fortune tend, for who not needs shall never lack a friend. And who in want a hollow friend doth try, directly seizes him his enemy. But orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run, that our devices still are overthrown, our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light, sport and repose luck from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchor's cheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy, meet what I would have well, and it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife. Hamlet says this to Ophelia. If she should break it now. Here's the player king again.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
The king sleeps. Here's the queen, the player queen. Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain. The queen leaves. The player queen. Hamlet talks to the queen, his mother. Madam, how like you this play? The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how? Tropically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzango is the duke's name. His wife, Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work. But what o' that? What o' that? Your Majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the galled jade wince, our withers are unwrung. Enter Lucianus. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king. You are a good chorus, my lord. I could interpret between you and your love, if I could see the puppets dallying. You are keen, my lord, you are keen. It would cost you a groaning to take off my edge. Still better and worse. So you mistake your husbands. Begin, murderer. Pox, leave thy damnable faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. Here's Lucianus.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing, confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's ban thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
Lucianus pours the poison into the sleeping king's ear. And now I must take a little hydration drink. Back to Hamlet. He's explained to the king and queen and everyone. He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzango. The story is extant, and written in very choice Latin. You shall see anon how the murderer guessed the love of Gonzango's wife. Oh, and as a side to this, Ophelia notices King Claudius rises, and so she says, "The king rises!" What? Frightened with false fire? How fares my lord?
Give o'er the play!
That was Polonius.
Give me some light. Away! All lights, lights, lights!
Exit all but Hamlet and Horatio. They all just left. The king couldn't take the sight of the poison being poured in the air. And thus here's Hamlet saying, "Why, let the strucken deer go weep, the heart ungalled play. For some must watch, while some must sleep. So runs the world away. Would not this, sir, and a forest of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk in with me, with 2 provincial roses on my raised shoes, get me a fellowship and a cry of players, sir?" Here's Horatio. "Half a share?" "A whole one, aye, for thou dost know. O Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns here a very, very paddock." "You might have rhymed." "Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?" "Very well, my lord." "Upon the talk of the poisoning, I did very well note him." "Ha ha! Come, some music. Come the recorders. For if the king like not the comedy, why then belike he likes it not. Purdy. Come, some music." Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
"My lord, vouchsafe me a word with you."
"Sir, a whole history."
"The king,
"Sir, aye, sir, what of him?"
is in his retirement marvelous distempered."
This is Guildenstern, by the way. "With drink, sir?"
"No, my lord, rather with choler.
"Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor. For me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more colour."
"Good, my lord, put your discourse into some frame, and start not so wildly from my affair."
"I am tame, sir. Pronounce."
"The queen your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you."
"You are welcome."
"Nay, my good lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon, and my return shall be the end of my business."
"Sir, I cannot."
"What, my lord?"
"Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more but the matter." "My mother, you say..." Here's Rosencrantz.
"Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration."
"Oh, wonderful son, that can so stonish a mother! But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?"
"She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed."
"We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?"
"My lord, you once did love me."
"And so I do still, by these pickers and stealers."
"Good, my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend."
"Sir, I lack advancement."
"How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?"
Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Re-enter the players with recorders. Oh, the recorders! Let me see one. To withdraw with you, why do you go about to recover the wind? Wait. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you, why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your finger and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these I cannot command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice, in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak. It's blood. It's blood. Do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can't fret me. You cannot play upon me. Enter Polonius. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale?
Very like a whale.
Then will I come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
They exit. By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. Exit all but Hamlet. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words some ever she be shent, to give them seals never my soul consent. Scene 3. A room in the castle. Enter the king, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. Here's the king.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore, prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our state may not endure hazard so near us as doth hourly grow out of his lunacies.
We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
The single and peculiar life is bound with all the strength and armor of the mind to keep itself from annoyance, but much more that spirit upon whose will depend and rest the lives of many. The cease of majesty dies not alone, but like a gulf doth draw what's near it with it. It is a massy wheel, fixed on the summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser things are mortised and adjoined, which when it falls, each a small annexment, petty consequence, attends the boisterous ruin. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage. For we will fetters put upon this fear, which now grows too free-footed.
We will haste us.
Enter Polonius. So, Claudius is getting pissed off now. Wants to send good old Hamlet away. Crazy old, disturbed, poor Hamlet. Okay. Just to fix some things up. Here we go. Enter Polonius.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. I'll warrant she'll tax him home, and as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should overhear the speech of vantage. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed, and tell you what I know.
Here's the king.
Thanks, dear my lord.
Exit Polonius. Oh, I think this is the part where Claudius makes it like a confession to himself because he thinks he's alone.
Oh, my offence is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and, like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it while white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offence? And what's in prayer but this twofold force to be forestalled ere we come to fall? Oh, pardoned being down. Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder! That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offence? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself, buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it, when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state! O bosom black as death! O limed soul that, struggling to be free, art more engaged! Help! Angels! Make essay! Bow, stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
The king retires and kneels. He's praying, as he is guilty. Enter Hamlet. Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes, broad blown as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him, and am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hent. When he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation, in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physique but prolongs thy sickly days. Hamlet leaves, choosing not to kill him for a rather, lack of conviction reason. So what? Claudius gets to go to heaven. You don't know that, Hamlet. But, alas. Back to King Claudius. He was on his knees, and now he rises.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Scene 4. Another room in the castle. Huh? I think I know what this part is. Delightful. Enter Queen and Polonius.
He will come straight. Look you, lay home to him.
You know what, actually, I think I'll stop right here with Hamlet. This is a good stopping point.